Tales of Suspense, featuring America's newest superhero sensation, Iron Man. His size alone does not worry me, but there is something else, some sinister secret behind the coming of Gargantus. Iron Man vs. Gargantus. History has recorded many a bitter duel to the death, but never before has the future of all mankind depended on the grim outcome of one encounter, as in the fantastic showdown between two mighty phenomena of the past and present, Iron Man and Gargantus. Anthony Stark is a man who leads three lives. He is recognized throughout the world as a mechanical genius. At a scientific conference in Geneva, Mr. Stark, in the name of our International Society of Physicists, I award you our annual Medal of Honor for your outstanding contribution to microtransistor research. Thank you, Professor. Nor does scientist Anthony Stark neglect America's Cold War struggle against the communist menace at a U.S. Army proving grounds. You mean these roller skates will enable an entire infantry division to race down a highway at 60 miles an hour? Precisely, General. The skates can easily be carried in a pack and are collapsible. They can be clamped on the sole of a boot with an ordinary skate key, but where these skates differ from toys lies in the fact that they have tiny transistor-powered engines to drive the skate wheels. Minutes later, the GIs demonstrate. Incredible! Infantry can now transport itself on the highways without trucks. This will revolutionize troop movements. You're a military genius, Stark. A genius? No, General, just a scientist who realizes that the boundaries of science are infinite. Nobody in the world suspects how it has helped me, for I'd be dead now if not for my scientific knowledge. The second Anthony Stark is a sophisticated millionaire playboy whom beautiful women adore. I'm mad about you, Tony. Why don't you come to Monte Carlo more often so I can see more of you? Business reasons, my sweet. I've got investments all over the world that need looking after. I know you, Tony Stark. Your investments probably all wear skirts and are dying to marry you. Your name has been linked with every actress and society beauty from Hollywood to Rome. Tony, Jean, I've been looking for you. We're going swimming. A moonlight swim? That should be great fun. Let's go, Tony. Oh, count me out, Jean. I've had a hard day, and a sudden tiredness just came over me, so you run along without me. I'm going back to the hotel. Hey, Jean, you losing your hold on Tony? What girl doesn't sooner or later? Tony probably has a midnight date with some other gal. Darn her lucky hide. But little does Jean or any other person know that Tony Stark has left the gay party for a most unusual date with an electric cord. Poor Jean. She probably thought I was trying to avoid her, but I couldn't go swimming. I can never appear anywhere bare-chested because I constantly wear this iron chest plate. Just as other men plug in their electric shavers for their morning or evening shave, I must constantly charge up this plate which gives continued life to my heart. My ticker would stop beating if the plate were removed or didn't receive its regular booster shot. Ah, electrical energy is pouring back. Now I can continue living, to help humanity as Iron Man. Iron Man. Yes, this is Anthony Stark's third and most important identity, the creature in the unbelievably powerful iron shell, equipped with many ingenious attachments, before which his enemies cower, whether they be gangsters. Fool, you know small arms fire cannot penetrate my iron body. He's right, we can't hurt Iron Man. Or if Iron Man's antagonist is some madman of science who seeks to rule mankind. My shrinking ray isn't working. No, Doctor, I'm jamming its electronic firing mechanism with electrical interference. Now, before I turn you over to the police, I'll make sure this lab never spawns another instrument of destruction. And so it is that Anthony Stark leads a triple life, in the shadow of death, one night, as Stark takes a date to a circus. Run for your lives! The cats have broken loose! This is a situation Iron Man had better handle before somebody's hurt, but I must slip away to switch to my metallic identity. Quick, Marion, this way. Moments later. Tony, where are you going? To a phone booth to call the police riot squad. You keep heading for the street with the rest of the crowd. Is he actually afraid? Then, as Stark finds a deserted corner under the grandstand, nobody, not even the sharpest customs officer, knows that in my attaché case is a secret X-ray proof compartment containing all the parts for my Iron Man uniform in collapsible form. Everything, thanks to my knowledge of microscopic transistors, can be unfolded and elongated into many times its original carrying size. And so, in a matter of seconds, Tony is able to don the costume of Iron Man. Exactly 1 minute later. Wait! Iron Man is here! He'll take care of the rampaging animals. Oh, how dreadful looking he is. Ugh, he looks like a creature in one of those science fiction films. Mama! Mama! Save me from the ugly man! Dad, please don't let him come near me. Great Scott, I never noticed it before, but my appearance terrifies women and children as if I were a monster. Why didn't I realize it before? In this drab iron costume, I'm a frightening sight to the very people I want to aid and protect. They know I'll fight their enemies, yet they instinctively shrink away from me. I must remember to alter my costume so I don't look like a walking nightmare. That leopard is coiled to spring. I'll just substitute myself for the cat's intended target. Next moment. Uh-oh, there are some of his friends, so I'll take Tabby by the tail and use him to keep the others at bay. Next moment. Surrounded. This calls for one of the many attachments my metal body is equipped with. I'll just fasten these suction cups to my palms and turn on my transistor-powered air pressure jets. Then, as Iron Man soars upward, now to land right smack in the middle of the other cats. I timed it perfectly. That's right, kittens, here I am. Leap at me. Then, as the beast claw angrily at Iron Man's body. Now I'll twist a small rheostat, stepping up the electrical currency in my metal body. That should give you the surprise of your toothy lives. This won't injure them, but it'll take most of the fight out of them. Then, as the beasts flee. Great work, Iron Man. The man-eaters are scampering back to their cages. Good. But this experience taught me something. I must redesign my costume. It's supposed to frighten foes, not friends. Later, in an arena corridor. We won't need the police, Tony. Iron Man handled the emergency. But I can't understand one thing. Why does he wear such a terrifying-looking costume? He actually frightens people. Really, my dear? What do you think he should wear? Well, he battles menaces like a hero in olden times, so if he's a modern knight in shining armor, why doesn't he wear golden metal instead of that awful dull gray armor? Why not indeed? Then, when people see his golden armor, they won't panic. They'll know he has a heart of gold and an appearance to match his golden deeds. You know, Marion, I wouldn't be surprised if Iron Man himself were to get the same idea. Finally, at the bustling airport. Then I'll see you next Saturday night? That is, unless you stand me up. Any girl who'd stand you up, darling, would have to be stark raving mad. I'll take the 6:50 plane from Granville, and you'd better be waiting. That night, at Anthony Stark's laboratory. Marion's brainstorm about turning Iron Man into a knight in shining armor is a honey. I'll coat every visible part of my costume with untarnishable gold paint. Moments later, Stark surveys his handiwork. Wow, what a difference! Leave it to a woman to figure out an attractive appearance. The only ones who need fear me now are my foes. The following Saturday night, at the airport. That's strange. Marion isn't on that plane. Say, pilot, didn't you pick up a female passenger at 6:50 tonight in Granville? Granville? Haven't you heard, mister? Granville shut down its airport 3 days ago. No planes are allowed to land or leave. Gosh, I haven't seen an American paper in a week. I just got back from Africa after completing a mission for Iron Man. Tell me, is anything wrong at Granville? Who knows? There might be, since the town has completely cut itself off from the rest of the world. Stark quickly buys a paper. That pilot wasn't kidding. Granville's walled in, and nobody can find out who built the wall, or why. Nobody, that is, except a special pal of mine named Iron Man. Mysterious wall encircles Granville, no outsiders allowed into town. Next day, outside Granville, after Iron Man explains why he has changed the color of his costume. There's nothing we can do, Iron Man. The town has the legal right to put up a wall. No traffic can get in or out. We'd be breaking the law if we busted in. So the state's hands are tied, eh? Well, mine aren't. I'll dig under that wall. Later, 20 feet underground. This tiny transistor-powered drill will soon bring me under the town. But what will I find there? Why have the townspeople put up that wall? Why have they broken off all communication with the outside world? And then, to the amazement of Granville's citizens. Don't be upset, folks. I'm Iron Man. What's going on? Why did you put up that wall? We cannot answer you. By order of Gargantus. If we disobey, we die. Gargantus? We dare not be seen talking to Iron Man. He's an intruder. Attack him. Drive him from our city. Yes, Gargantus will be pleased if we get rid of Iron Man. Stop! Have you gone mad? I'm here to help you. Wait! But as the crowd's frenzy gets wilder. After him! Drive him away! That crowd's not normal. They know I'm not their enemy, yet they're treating me like one. I must find out who this Gargantus is. Seconds later. What's this? The townspeople are erecting a huge statue. Then, as Iron Man gapes in astonishment, suddenly, they're ignoring me. They're actually bowing down to that statue. But why? Galloping gears! Is that the Gargantus they're all yelling about? He resembles a prehistoric creature who existed 80,000 years ago, the Neanderthal man. But when the crowd again rises to its feet, mighty is Gargantus. Long live Gargantus. There's Iron Man. Get him! There's more to this than meets the eyes. This town is under some sort of spell, and one way to break a spell is by shock treatment. So here goes. Pushing a 10-ton truck is a fairly simple task for Iron Man. Hear me, people of Granville. This is what Iron Man thinks of Gargantus. But even as the statue topples, all hail Gargantus, ruler of all men. Even though the statue is smashed to bits, they're still paying homage to it as if nothing happened. They're in the grip of something which is stronger than I thought. Every citizen seems to be in a different state of hypnosis. I'll bet when they erected that wall around the town, they didn't know what they were doing then either. There's only one way to learn the answer to all this. I must find Gargantus. Then, as Iron Man soars through the air, even the town police are under Gargantus' spell. They must have received orders to kill me, and they're obeying them blindly. Finally, Iron Man perches on a tall building. I'll see if I can goad Gargantus into appearing by broadcasting a challenge to him through the tiny public address speakers attached to my accessory belt. Gargantus, this is Iron Man. Gargantus, this is Iron Man. Gargantus, this is Iron Man. I challenge you to show yourself or be branded a coward before the people of Granville. Grrr. And then, as Iron Man's strident voice echoes through the town, two mighty gigantic hands bend a supple flagpole back, until... Grrr. Wow, that's him now, coming at me. He is a Neanderthal man, but bigger and broader than any anthropologist ever described him. No wonder those townspeople were mesmerized. His enormous eyes are like mirrors reflecting the sun, and now he's trying to hypnotize me too. But as Iron Man turns his gaze skyward, wait a minute, there's no sun to reflect. The dark cloud's been hanging over this town ever since I arrived. This flag should tell me what I want to know. Just as I thought, it's rippling in the breeze. Okay, Gargantus, let's play follow the leader. I'll glide down to the street, but I'll avoid crashing into the pavement by reversing the transistor air pressure jets in my palm suction cups. There's Marion, the girl I had a date with. She's been mass hypnotized too. And here comes Gargantus, climbing down the side of the building like a nimble gorilla. I'll stay out of his reach for a while. And so... Grrr. You're furious, eh, Gargantus? Because it's showdown time. If you can get rid of me, you can keep mass hypnotizing Granville's population into doing anything you command. You can order him to build that wall around town, pass laws to keep the state and federal government out, make some people turn into a savage mob, while others are commanded to bow down to a statue built to glorify your power. Well, these 3 top hat transistors inserted into 3 magnets will destroy all your plans. Each magnet I'm throwing to either side of you and behind you now has its attracting power multiplied by 1,000-fold. You can't move any longer. You're beginning to feel the terrible, irresistible tug of the magnets, each of which is pulling your body in different directions. Suddenly, yes, Gargantus, you're falling apart like the huge robot you are. Your tubes, motors, and gears will soon litter the streets. And then, as the giant robot is shattered, the strange paralysis fades from the town. What happened? What's all this junk? The electronic remains of a robot Neanderthal man named Gargantus. Look skyward where my searchlight is probing. My powerful beam can penetrate the fake cloud to reveal what's lying inside it. A flying saucer from outer space. I remember that dark cloud. It suddenly passed over town, and from nowhere, Gargantus appeared. He dropped out of the skies, with his enormous glassy eyes staring at those who looked upward. I am Gargantus, the mighty one. I have come to rule. First you, then the world. Hearken to my first order. Build a wall around your town. Well, I knew it was no ordinary cloud when I noticed that the hypnotic beams were powered from a mechanism inside Gargantus. For the dark cloud had blocked out any sunlight that could be reflected from Gargantus's eyes. Also, by testing the wind with a flag, I realized that the cloud had remained in a stationary position from the moment I had entered Granville. Therefore, it was not a dark cloud, or it would have drifted with the wind. Quick, start all engines. The intruder is tossing the objects which ripped Gargantus apart. At us. We'll explode too unless I've gotten beyond their range. We must report to our planet that our visit here was a failure. This planet has changed since our ancestors explored it 80,000 years ago. It is no longer peopled by creatures like Gargantus. We could control the ordinary inhabitants through mass hypnosis, but they also have those iron men to protect them. They're too clever for us to conquer, so our vessels must return, lest we be destroyed. There goes the saucer. Let's hope they've been frightened off, for good. Then, when the saucer is gone, you may enter now, gentlemen. Things are normal in Granville again. You bet, thanks to Iron Man. And the very next day. Forgive me for standing you up yesterday, Tony, but a fantastic thing happened in Granville. Did you read about it in the papers? No, I didn't have time. I was rather busy myself yesterday. I sure was. I bet nobody ever worked so hard to find out what happened to his date. The end. Work of art. All his life he had longed for a masterpiece. Then, he finally got what he wanted. The Fool. The 17th century produced many fine artists. It also produced Franz Ritterkirch. Again I have failed to capture the mood. The painting is worthless, just like all my others. Bitter and frustrated, Ritterkirch went to the museum to view the works of his successful contemporaries. They produced masterpieces. If only I had their skill, their genius. However, there are other roads to artistic success, if one is bold and unscrupulous. And since Ritterkirch had even less scruples than talent, he took those devious roads. He spied on his fellow artists to discover their methods and techniques. It's the way he mixes his colors that gives his landscapes their rich texture. He even broke into their homes to steal their creative ideas. Borger's new fresco design is magnificent. I shall paint it myself, then the glory for it will be mine. Too bad for Borger that he caught me in the act. When he regains consciousness, he'll go to the police. But now that I have his design, the poor fool won't be able to prove a thing. Ha 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 ha. However, Franz Ritterkirch was such a poor painter that even when he copied the techniques and ideas of great artists, he still could not produce a masterpiece. Failure after failure, it's all hopeless. And yet, there must be a way. There must. But then, just when things seemed at their worst, the museum exhibited the works of a new artist. The way the clods are gaping, he must be good. I better have a closer look. His paintings all appear so lifelike. It's incredible. The fruit looks so real, you almost think you can lift it from the canvas. This Hendrik Romp is truly a genius. And when Franz took a closer look, they're right. These are the most realistic still lifes I have ever seen. If only I could learn how the artist achieved such perfection, I'm sure that I could do the same. And I will learn the secret of the paintings from their creator himself. I shall call upon Hendrik Romp. And so, Romp is old. It will be easy to force him to reveal his secrets to me. Who are you? What do you want? I allow none to enter my studio. I have come to learn how you paint such realistic still lifes, so that I too may create similar masterpieces. No, that is impossible. Impossible? Nonsense. You will paint a still life for me, so that I may observe how you mix the colors, how you model the forms, how you attain such perfect realism. Now paint. But it is best that no one ever learns my secret. Ha! You do not wish to share your glory. You are a shrewd old man, but I am a determined young one. Now start painting. But you do not understand. Silence, you old fool! I will not be defied. For years I have longed to create a masterpiece, and now you shall teach me how, else you yourself will never paint again. No, do not strike me. Well, I'm waiting. I cannot reason with you. You are utterly ruthless. I have no choice but to obey you. A wise decision. Now get on with it. But I shall do more for you than paint a simple still life. I shall do something I have never done before. I shall paint a human portrait. Yours. All right, just so I can watch you work while I pose. I want to observe everything you do. Fear not, you will see everything. I promise you. And so, the aged artist began to paint his ruthless subject. Thus far I see nothing unusual in the way you work. You had better not deceive me. His painting had better be as fine as your others. You may rest assured that it will be my greatest masterpiece. Yes, a masterpiece, just like the pictures I shall soon paint. Thanks to your instruction, I shall become an immortal in the world of art. Oh, you will indeed be that. But suddenly... What is happening? My legs! They're fading away! It's spreading. The rest of me is disappearing too. I'm vanishing into thin air. You are wrong. You are not vanishing into thin air. Now at last you see why my paintings of fruits and flowers were so lifelike, don't you? It isn't possible. I must be going mad. Mad! Nonsense. Nothing is impossible for a sorcerer. A sorcerer? I never dreamt. You must stop. Please, stop before it is too late. Yes, for you it is indeed too late. For you did not vanish. I merely transferred you to my canvas, and as long as this painting lives, you shall be immortal. The end. Prophet of Doom. There didn't seem to be anything strange about him until he took off his hat. As our tantalizing tale begins, we find two thieves robbing a safe, little dreaming it is the last safe they will ever rob. Hurry, Charlie! I am! Suddenly, what the? Where'd you come from? Isn't it obvious? I come from the future. What a time for us to be bothered by a nut. We ain't got time to waste. Let him have it. Fools. We of the future can make our muscles so rigid that no weapons can harm us. He ain't human. Let's get out of here. Ha! What chance have these poor savages against me? Stay where you are, you two. See what the shooting was about, Joe. The cops! Must have been having target practice. Nothing here but some holes in the wall. By setting my time control for 60 seconds into the future, I'll render myself invisible. So this is the primitive 20th century. How drab and uncivilized. No wonder none of my own century would ever bother to visit it. That is why I will be so safe here. I can play with their puny lives like a god. I can command. I can rule them all. In my own century, thousands of years in the future, they have grown too civilized to crave power. But I have a yearning to lord it over others, and here I have a world at my disposal. First, I shall need some primitive clothes. It is laughable to see what these primitives consider to be door locks. With my knowledge, I can enter any place. Not a bad fit. A short time later. There's my destination, their so-called United Nations building. All I need do is seek out any high official. Within minutes, the man from the future unleashes his verbal bombshell. What? You expect us to pay you $1 million? You must be mad. No, not $1 million. 100 million. I have proven to you that I am from the future. Can't you see how easy it would be for me to start a world war among you primitives? All I need do is warn one nation that another nation is planning to attack on a certain day. But remember, to me, your future is all history. I know what will happen. I studied it in school in my own age. None would doubt me. I could set nation against nation with a few words. You wouldn't dare. Oh, wouldn't I? Think how simple it would be. In exactly 24 hours, your northernmost neighbor will launch a sneak nuclear attack upon you. We'll beat them to the punch. They plan to invade you under cover of darkness, tonight. Oh no, we'll strike them first. None would doubt me, for I am from the future. They would know that I speak the truth, for our history books have recorded it all. Strike! Attack! Are you convinced? Will you vote me the $100 million, or would you prefer a world war? Speak! Your time is short. I must think. And this is only the beginning. None of you primitives have the power to defy me. I shall make all of you do my bidding, obey my every whim. It seems incredible, and yet it is true. It is really happening. After all these years, all these centuries, a menace from the future has finally arrived to threaten mankind. Enough of your mutterings. Give me your answer. It is fortunate indeed that we feared this might someday happen, that we prepared for it. Not you. Not you! Of course, you fool. We have agents in every century, waiting to punish evil ones such as you. Did you think we of the future would ever let anything happen to our own past? The end.